Hi, my name's Tian Dayton, and I wanted to take a minute to chat with you and tell you why I think it's important to have this workbook out and why I felt so strongly about creating it and getting it to you to help you process these very unusual times that we're all going through together. COVID-19 is bringing up a lot of uncertainty for people, a lot of symptoms that are similar to PTSD, anxiety, depression, desire to self-medicate, a sense of helplessness, a sense of being trapped, confinement. And all of these can either go one way or another. We can either process as we go, or they tend to accumulate, and then we're left to deal with them at some later date. These kinds of times can also trigger old loss. And when that old loss gets confused with the new loss we're going through, then we tend to take it out on either ourselves or those we love, those who are around us, none of which are good solutions. So the idea is progress, not for perfection, and process, not product. We don't have anywhere we need to get. We just want to have a place, a safe place, and a focused process so that we can get in touch with what's going on in us. I think there's a lot of great advice out there, and it's helped all of us, I think, to create safety in uncertain times, to really schedule ourselves, have an environment, resource ourselves, and make a better base to operate from. We've had to adapt rapidly, and I think many of us have adapted rapidly. But then how do we make that advice personal for us? That's where the personalized process comes in. In this workbook, I'm going through the various stages: shock, grief, anger, returning to emotional sobriety, post-traumatic growth, gratitude. How do we resource ourselves? How do we work through the feelings as they come up? Not avoid them, not push them down, not take them out on other people, but take a look at them and use these times not to shrink from, not to implode from, but to grow from. Because, life itself tends to trigger in us what we avoid. We're all human, and we avoid going to those places inside of us that hurt. It's natural, it's even healthy, but there are moments when avoiding is costly. It's costly to ourselves, and it's costly to those we love. So this is a process designed really just for you, with the advice translated into meaningful little bits of potential healing. And if we can look at what's getting triggered as an opportunity to grow from, instead of to repeat the past, complicate the past, then we can turn a crisis into an opportunity for change and growth. And psychologists call that post-traumatic growth. We can look for silver linings. We can find what we have to be grateful for, which is very much. We can face the uncertainty. We cannot deny what's right in front of us, but work with what's right in front of us. We don't want to repeat the past by slipping into a kind of numbness or denial if we've had adverse childhood experiences. We want to let these present circumstances touch those places in us and use what it triggers as aha. So that's been there all the time and I didn't know it. Let me take a second look. Let me process that so that I just don't make my past more complicated than it needs to be. Confinement is triggering. Intimacy is triggering. These circumstances today, uncertainty, chaos, conflict among leadership is triggering. But that doesn't mean we have to be stuck in being triggered. It doesn't mean we have to project what gets triggered outwards onto others. We can go inwards. We can develop a language for our feelings, and we can then learn to process those feelings. And that's what we're doing in this workbook. On my website, tiandayton.com, I'm offering a lot of free resources. It's a time when I want to attend to and give away as much as I can. So I've put guided imageries there, a coloring book. I'm going to do little talks like this, introducing the concepts in this book so that it will be easier to metabolize. This book can be used in all kinds of ways. It can be used in treatment centers when there are people actually there, and they can use the book between sessions and work through exercises and share in a more professional environment. It can be used in one-to-one therapy. Clients can have their own workbook and work with it throughout the week and then bring what comes up into therapy and process it with their professional. It can be used in a group therapy on Zoom. You can have your own book, have a place to go when things come up, to look a little more deeply and then bring that to group and process it with others. And if you're all doing the same process, you can compare notes. It can be on coaching or peer supervision groups, and it can be in the privacy of your own home. It's nice to have something to reach for when you're going through something, not to have to wait or put it off, but when, as it is happening, these are opportunities for growth. Things don't get stimulated by themselves. Life stimulates us. Life teaches us. And this is an opportunity to let life teach us so we can turn trauma into post-traumatic